Hi everyone. The first resource that I'm going to evaluate is a Google slide presentation that I use with my third grade students to introduce opinion writing. In this Google slide presentation, they listen to a read aloud and then they answer a question on the following slides. In these slides, I used a plain white background with a basic black font for sufficient color contrast. According to the web accessibility guidelines, this contrast between the font and background benefits those with color blindness or low vision. The images in my slides have alternative text, allowing it to be read by a screen reader. Providing these descriptions allows the screen reader users to benefit from the information in the image even if they cannot see it clearly. Now, if you notice this image here, I basically just kind of used this one as decoration, but if I click on it, I just put in there that it's just a Bitmoji image of me, Ms. Rutzebeck, reminding my students to click on the book to listen to the story. Now, this image, the image of the book that the image of the book cover, has a link to the YouTube read aloud for the students. In the read aloud, the words are, if I click on this link, and now I haven't paid for the screen recorder, so it's not going to record when I click on the link, it's not going to record that the person reading the story. But when the person is reading the story, their voice is coming through for the students, but the words are also projected onto the screen as they're being read. Plus, there's also an option for closed captioning. So students that are hard of hearing will have that option as well.
USAA, it's easy to file.
So if you notice, I know you can't hear the audio because it's not recording that, it's only recording me. But if you notice, as the video goes along and they start reading the story, the words come up and the words are up there. Plus, we have the closed captioning option here that will also have them at the bottom of the screen. Back to my slides. Google Slides does not have an option for the outline view, but the reading order of the slides, when I click at the top, it does, when I click the tab button, it does click and go through start at the top and the tab from left to right, which would be the correct order that I want the elements to be read. The second one that I'll be sharing is a Google Doc that I use to compare two texts. At the top, I did start with creating a heading or the title of the page. I did add some things to this after going through and reading the information from this week, reading the assigned texts that we were supposed to read. I did go through and make some changes. But once I did that, like I said, I created the heading at the top, and then both of the images that I used, I have the added descriptions as well. I just added the books, and then when I click on that, those again are just for decoration. So I just said that is a stack of books. And then my second one is the storybook characters. Although this is set up as a table, Google Docs doesn't have a setting to designate columns or row headings. But this one should be small enough that it should be easily understood. Again, like I said, I did make some changes to allow for the reading order to be more easily understood. What I did was I added text number 1 and text number 2, so that when if someone is using a screen reader, it's more organized, especially since it jumps from text 1 to text 2. Instead of going down the column, it goes across the row. Again, like in my last one, I kept the white background with the black font for the proper color contrast. But this one was a pretty basic one. I just kind of go through, talk about the problem, the reactions, and then they are comparing and contrasting, kept the directions fairly simple. This would be something that I would do with them. We would kind of go through and talk it out. It could be something that they could work in partners. This would be something that maybe they could go into a breakout room if they're online. Or like I said, we would work through this together. I don't really use Google Docs a whole lot. I more so use Google Slides in my teaching. I teach in person, and with being in the classroom, I haven't given a lot of thought to these changes that I should be making to each of my resources that I'm sharing out with my students. But I have students in my classroom that I make certain other accommodations for, but this module has definitely opened my eyes to others that I need to be making for all of my students.